Good morning, everyone. This is John Kogan. I'm the CEO of Performative, the online community for corporate finance, accounting, treasury, and related professionals. I would like to welcome everyone to this morning's webinar, which is a live tech demo and also discussion around how NetSuite streamlines the order-to-cash process. Most people in finance and accounting have heard about NetSuite, the leading cloud-based financial management system. But until you see it in action, it's hard to put the functionality in perspective and understand how your company might benefit from it. If you want to get up to speed on the leading cloud financial management system and see it in action, that's what you're going to be getting this morning. So we welcome you this morning, and we look forward to our next hour. A couple things up front. Number one, welcome to Performative. For those of you for whom this is your first Performative event, just a quick background on us. We're the largest and fastest growing online resource for corporate finance, treasury, accounting, and related professionals. We reach over 600,000 of these professionals every month, and most of what we do is online Q&A. So if you have a question, anything from where do the debits and credits go to how do I open a new subsidiary in Hong Kong, that's what we talk about on Performative, and it's all peer-to-peer. So if you ask a question, you'll probably be answered by CFOs, controllers, treasurers, and the like. And it's all completely free and ad-free, no ads, no self-promotion or anything like that. Please come check us out at performative.com. Next up, a few notes on this morning's event. A link to today's presentation and a video of this webinar, the link to the video, I should say, will be sent out to all attendees within 24 hours. In fact, this slide deck is already posted on performative.com/resources. Of course, the download is free at any time for anyone, and we will be sending those links out in an email within one day. Next up, we would like this to be an interactive experience for everyone. So if you'll take a quick glance at your GoToWebinar control panel, you will see that there is a place there for asking questions. So please do ask questions at any time, and we will ask the folks who are going to be speaking today to address them. And that will come towards the end of today's webinar session. Finally, when you leave today's webinar, you'll be asked to take a short survey regarding the webinar. We always want to do better the next time, so please let us know what worked, what didn't work in that survey. It takes all of 60 seconds. We would really appreciate your giving us that extra minute on the way out. One other thing to note, if you would like to be connected directly with either of today's speakers or both, you can indicate that on the survey. It's just a click of the mouse away, so very easy to do. Next up, I would like to introduce today's two presenters. First up is Vishrut Parikh. Vishrut brings over 15 years experience in enterprise software applications, including compensation management, incentive comp, sales performance management, CRM, and ERP. Prior to NetSuite, he worked at Calidus Software, where he was responsible for their flagship incentive comp product strategy and roadmap. Vishrut played a key role in Calidus Software's transformation to a SaaS solution provider from an on-premise solution provider. And prior to that, at Receivable, which is now a part of Oracle, Vishrut worked on the incentive compensation solution, consulting with Fortune 500 companies on deployment strategy and planning. Also, this morning, we'll hear from Larry McMahon, who's a senior solution consultant in the channels area of NetSuite. Larry brings over 25 years experience in the enterprise software applications area in ERP, SCM, CRM, and BI spaces, and has been with NetSuite for over 5 years. He currently provides technical pre-sales support for all sales activity for NetSuite's channel partners. And with that, Vishrut, I'd like to hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you, John. Good morning. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm just going to go through a few slides, introduce NetSuite, and then hand it over to Larry for the live demonstration. For those of you who don't know about NetSuite, NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP in the world. When we say that, we are backed by over 12,000 organizations have standardized running their businesses on NetSuite. We've been around since 1998. We are publicly traded, and we have offices in 10 plus countries and about 1,200 employees. What we offer is a complete suite, so you can run your business on our platform, whether it's a CRM, ERP, professional services, or e-commerce. You can run an entire business on NetSuite platform, and we're going to show some of that today. These are some of the sample customers that we have, and as you can see that we have customers in all different industries, and they have standardized running their entire business on NetSuite platform, from software to warehouse and distribution, manufacturing, services, retail, or even enterprises. The large companies, they have used NetSuite either in a subsidiary or at a global level. Before we get going into the demo, just talk about what's happening today. We are experiencing change in all aspects of our lives, basically. It's at unprecedented rate. And this slide kind of depicts that more human beings today have access to cell phones than United Nations says they have access to clean toilets. This kind of summarizes what's going on today, in the sense that changes are happening in our personal lives, in technology, from social media to cloud computing. All these things are happening, and we are, whether we know it or not, we are being impacted by that, whether it's a personal life or whether we are running a business. And changes like this, if you don't embrace them, then your competition is going to get to you, or you're going to be left behind. And what makes it challenging to embrace these changes is that the technology that we are using is no longer valid, it's no longer applicable, and we are running our businesses on old technology that was designed decades ago to meet the challenges of that time. But today the challenges are different. And this side, no wonder the cloud computing is gaining momentum, because no longer that the IT departments have budget to spend money on just to keep the lights on, meaning that 80% of the IT budget is just to keep the system running and not deploy new innovation or go to the new technology. And some of the analysts have kind of validated that. If you look at Forrester, for example, once you buy the licenses for the on-premise solution, it takes about 5 times that to implement the solution. And by the time you realize the benefit of that, is only few years have gone by and new technology have come about. Similarly, Gartner says that 91% of the resources are just in maintenance. So it drains innovation. Companies cannot run businesses this way in a new environment that we are in. And the one thing that I do want to highlight is the bottom right-hand corner, is that the systems, because we want to implement technology, what has happened is unintended consequences of all the technologies, that we have a fragmented system throughout our organization, meaning that we have the best of the breed application for our CRM, maybe ERP, e-commerce, or whatever not, and it's very difficult to make these systems talk to each other and get a visibility into our business as a whole. And that is the unintended consequence of applying technology to the business problem. So, when we, at NetSuite here, we talk to a lot of the CIOs and CFOs, and one of the common things that we hear from them is that we have invested so much money in the technology to run our business, optimize our processes. We want to make sure that we can get appropriate visibility into it, but we can still answer these basic questions. Why is that? That's the question that we hear all the time. Well, one of the reasons is that the technology that you have applied is fragmented. It's not connected, and the technology that we have adopted to run our businesses like a decade ago is no longer even valid at this point in time. It's not even keeping up pace with what we need. So one of the things that we commonly hear is that we want to optimize our lead to order process and shorten sales cycle. Why can't we do that? We have many different systems. Why can't we do that? We just want to shorten our sales cycle. We want to accrue sales commission expense based on accounts receivable trend. We want to know how much money we're going to pay out in commission up front, but we can't do that very easily. We have multiple Excel spreadsheets, we have different versions of it, and we can't get a clear visibility into how much money we're going to pay out in commission. Revenue recognition, as we know that we are moving towards this subscription economy, meaning that every business is moving towards pay-as-you-go model from a one-time cost. In that economy or that type of a business model, the way you recognize revenue is totally different. And if you don't do it, the consequences are pretty bad, that you can misstate your earnings. Well, how do you deal with that kind of issues with the old technology? Why can we not do that? That's a quite common issue that we hear from our CIOs and CFOs, our financial executives that we talk to here at NetSuite. Our marketing department, they want to launch new products quickly. They want to come up with new pricing, but we are not able to support that initiative because we don't have appropriate systems in place. And last thing is that we want to create accurate quotes. I mean, as we all know that when you have a quotes or sales order that are inaccurate, that can cause a lot of different issues. and a lot of manual work. Why can we do that after investing so much money into technology? These are the common things that we hear. Well, one of the things is that it's because that we have this disparate system. We have a fragmented solution, and the problem that we just talked about is no longer limited to finance and accounting anymore. The CFOs, the role of the CFO has been evolving. Now they become a partner with CEO. Their CEOs are looking to CFO to make strategic decisions. They're asked to make investments based on the data. And within our organizations, because of all this technology, we have so much data, yet we don't have much visibility. How can that happen? So you're asked to make decisions based on the data that you have, and you don't have right data at the right time. You don't have real-time visibility. So the problem is not only to finance and accounting, it's across the organization, whether it's a procure-to-pay process, whether it's a consolidation, whether it's a lead-to-cash process. All these processes are maybe automated, but they're not optimized, and they don't work together with each other. That is a common problem. So like I mentioned, that we are leveraging technology. A typical way is that you apply technology to solve one particular problem, and when you do that, you have multiple systems, you have data all over the place, and then you can actually make decisions because you don't have a real-time visibility to the data. But if you go to the integrated platform like what NetSuite offers, at that time you have one version of truth. That means it streamlines all the different processes across the organization, and the collaboration between the groups is encouraged, and it can happen. Not that the people don't want to collaborate, but they can't because they don't know what the other group is doing. With the integrated solution, you can have ideas. Finance can look into the sales data, sales can look into the finance data, inventory management or manufacturing, they can have real-time visibility so they can serve their customers better and so on and so forth once you have an integrated platform to run your business. And most importantly, you have a real-time visibility so you can make decisions on the real data, not on a data that was month old or quarter old. Whatever that you're looking at is what it is right now, so you're making the right decisions. One thing that, with the NetSuite solution is that if you look at typical solutions, typical CRM solution, or it automates only part of the process within your organization, from lead to, let's say, creating an opportunity, or you can set up a meeting with your prospect, for example. That's what normally typical CRM, that's where it ends. From creating a lead to setting up a meeting, but it has no visibility into orders or quotes or anything like that. But with the NetSuite full suite, you get a complete visibility. I mean, once the opportunity is created, with a click of a button, you can create a sales order. And then when the sales order is created, finance can take over and look at the accounts receivable, payable, invoicing. All that is done within the same system, so everyone is on the same page. Whatever the salespeople see, finance has access to that, and whatever finance sees, based on their role and responsibility, sales can also see some of the information from finance as well, if you make that available to them. And this is what is kind of needed to optimize processes within your organization so that you can shorten sales cycle, you can improve processes like procure to pay or cash to order to cash. Whatever the process that you're looking to optimize, it can happen once you have a right platform that you're working with. And one of the other things I want to highlight with NetSuite is that not only that our solution is the integrated suite, but we also have a huge partner ecosystem. Meaning that if we have about 5,000 developers working on NetSuite platform to develop solution that is completely integrated with NetSuite core application. So you are working with other developers that they are working on our platform. There are 150 select partners, and there are already 1,000+ suite applications that are created on our platform that work as if they are created by NetSuite. So you have access to this huge ecosystem of partners and developers developing on our platform. If you, in a nutshell, before we get to the demo, and if you want to just improve process, that's what we're talking about, improving process. In this case, we're talking about order to cash, but for that matter, any process. First and foremost thing is that we should have fewer systems, less versions of truth. Whether can we get to one version of truth, that would be the ideal case. But having 15 different spreadsheets, hundreds of different versions of that spreadsheet, that is not going to get us to the streamlining the process because you don't know what you're looking at. Having an integrated suite, whether it's a CRM, whether it's an ERP or professional service or e-commerce, running your entire business on one platform is going to help you streamline process and improve productivity because everyone has access to the same data. Real-time analytics, meaning that we over time, based on our experience, like because of so much automation has gone, there's so much data that we have in our organization, but yet we don't have visibility to the data, and we are not able to make a decision based on that data. So why is that? It's because of the different systems that we have in place. But having that is going to improve, having integrated real-time visibility into the data is going to improve processes and therefore productivity. And the last thing is that embracing the new technology and to lower TCO, or total cost of ownership. Cloud is here to stay. There is not, before it was like, okay, should we consider cloud? But that question is gone now. It's like, when do we embrace cloud? What do we need to do to get onto cloud technology? It's no longer whether we should do it or not. It's when do we do it? That's the question. And as the leaders of your organization, you're asked upon evaluating new technology, bringing that to your organization so you can improve processes and productivity. Now the important part of the presentation here, like we're going to show you some of the things that we just talked about, some of the process, how NetSuite helps you do that. I want to introduce Larry here. He's going to take you it's going to take you through a live demonstration of NetSuite. Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Vishru. So we're going to be going through a high-level presentation of the NetSuite product, focusing in on the order to cash and how you can streamline your business. So I've logged into NetSuite using an email address and password. We do use roles-based security, and that uniquely identified me when I came into the solution here. I'm coming in as a senior executive, and that determines what permissions I have, what applications can I run, what information can I see. And what you're looking at is a typical dashboard that a senior exec might have up on their screen, which is pulling up real-time information into your dashboard. We've got a number of different ways to present information graphically, and all of the information you're looking at is being presented in real time. Also, you have the ability to position the different components that you see within the dashboard, create custom components, so that you can incorporate those metrics that you measure your business on into your dashboard as well and not just rely on our standard ones. And then position things on the screen where you'd like them to be. And it's just a simple matter of grabbing, dragging, and dropping and placing things on the screen where you'd like them to be. But the real key thing is the ability to take a look at the information, drill down into the details of that information. This is one of the things of waiting for my time to come. I timed out. And we'll go ahead and log back in. So what I've done is I've drilled down into the details from my home page. In fact, let's go back and show that again so you can see it. So from here, I have my key performance indicators. We've got about 70 standard ones that are out there, but you can create an unlimited amount of your own custom ones. Things that map to your business, the things that you measure, you can incorporate easily into the dashboard without having to rely on IT to create those. But here, the ability to click and drill down into real-time information. From here, this is all of my sales. I have the ability to click and drill down into the details of that particular customer, and then click again goes down to the actual transaction. So not only am I looking at it from a senior level summary perspective, I have the ability to go down to the actual transactions. And you'll see that throughout the entire product, that ability to click and drill down into interrelated information. You can also see I've got customer service levels, so I can see my dollars of sales orders, my number of sales orders, how well is my fulfillment going. And these are all metrics that potentially I'm being measured on, so I can actually see in real time how the business is performing, but also how things are impacting my role. So from here, what I'm going to do, since we're focusing on the order to cash process, I'm going to switch over to a different role. And I just wanted to point out that the colors will change, the dashboard components will change. Again, it'll be unique to each individual user as they go in based on their permissions and based on how they have personalized their own dashboard. So in here, let's go ahead and go over to a sales rep role. So you can see now I've changed over to a sales rep role. The tabs going across the top are actually organized more in line with what a sales rep does. So it's opportunities and customers and forecasts. This is all organized based on the role that I'm logged in as. The components on my dashboard are now focused on me as a sales rep and not the overall state of the business. So you can see my key performance indicators are my leads, my quota, my sales, my commissions, all being presented in real time, again with the ability to click and drill down into the details. Other things that you can put within your dashboard is you can put in custom searches. So for example here, quotes greater than 50K, so I know where I can focus my attention, or focus on the sales reps so they can get those particular quotes in for the month end. I've got also new leads that are coming in today. Currently have none, but this is a custom search that I've incorporated into my dashboard. Let's say I'm in finance. Maybe I'm looking for outstanding receivables. Maybe I'm looking for accounts receivables that are over 120 days old. Maybe I'm in purchasing and I'm looking for late purchase orders. So those are the orders I need to focus my attention on. I need to expedite those in. And then down below, I've got some of the standard things that you'd expect, like tasks and phone calls. So this is organized more like a workspace. You know, tell me what I need to do today as a sales rep. I need to make a couple of phone calls. I need to follow up on some tasks. So it's just how this individual has organized their particular dashboard. So with that, let's go ahead and go into the next thing I'm going to talk about is what we refer to as our Customer 360. It's that 360-degree view of the customer. Everything you wanted to know about a customer is located on our customer record. And how I'm going to get there is I'm going to use global search. So up top here, I can type in the customer information. Well, I'll just type in the word John. And it'll actually find every reference to John, first names, last name, part of a company name, anything that's indexed. It will call it up. And so if I know an invoice number, a customer PO number, vendor invoice, I can type it in and it will locate it for me. So it's very straightforward. I can also narrow the search to look at a specific table. So I'm going to be looking for Smith Supplies. And as I continue to type, you can see it's got fuzzy logic built in. It'll actually filter it down so I can find the customer that I'm looking for. Now in the customer record, things that you'd expect, name, address, and phone number, but this is our central repository of everything related to this account. Now, we are an ERP suite, so we have the ability to manage your CRM, your Salesforce automation, but because we're an ERP platform, you can also tie into your inventory, you can tie into your financials, it ties into your e-commerce. That's all part of our solution, your customer service, your marketing, all of that is incorporated as part of our suite. So in here, there's information related to this particular account, but if you're using our e-commerce platform, then you can see all of their web activity, what items have been ordered by this particular client via our web store. All of the metrics related to the web store are stored here. The Finance tab actually goes through and shows currency and terms. I can go through and actually see their aging, their pricing levels. Is this customer taxable or not? Do they deal in multiple currencies? Do they have a credit card on file? Are they entitled to special pricing, maybe group pricing? Maybe they're part of a buying group, or you're categorizing some of your products so that you can price things uniquely, or all the way down to a specific price. Other information that you can see is an unlimited amount of contacts, all of the activities on the account, any messages, emails, letters, PDFs, faxes. We have a bidirectional interface with Outlook, so you can see all of the details related to this particular account. Any notes, also an audit trail, so you can keep track of who's making changes to this customer record. Somebody went in and changed the credit limit. You'll know what the limit was, the new limit is, who changed it and when. And that's one of those things that's, you know, we're a publicly held company. It really helps us with our compliance. Also, because we are a CRM solution as well, you can track all of your opportunities for this particular customer and where those opportunities currently are. Transactions would be anything beyond the opportunity, quotes, sales orders, invoices, every item that this customer has purchased, every issue that they have reported. Also an ability to attach documents. Our system comes with an ability to provide a file repository. So you can look up here under the file cabinet. So you can actually incorporate all of your documents into the system and then attach them throughout the entire system. In this case, on the customer record, I've got a budget and a contract. Maybe it's my SLA agreement. Maybe it's a signed quote or a signed order that I've got attached here. So just good information, everything you wanted to know about the account located within the customer record. Well, let's go ahead and get into the flow of what we're going to be talking about today, which is the order to cash process. So in here, since I have this customer called up, I actually have some shortcuts. I have an ability to create a new contact, task, opportunity, so I can start walking it through the sales process, turning it into a quote and into ultimately a sales order that you're going to go ahead and fulfill. So let's go ahead and just shortcut it and go straight into the order. Automatically calls up my supplies. Down below, I have an ability to put in what is it that I have the ability to sell, and I'll go into add multiples. This actually will call up all of the items that I have the ability to sell. It'll show the pricing for this particular customer and the quantity that's available. So I know that I have these, for example, these ceiling fans on hand. I can go through and add multiple items at this point and add that to the order. Again, very straightforward, very simple, really easy to locate the items that you're looking to sell. Another capability that really is a key strength is our upsell capability. So this upsell item looks at what's on the order, and then based on either past purchases for this customer or purchases of all customers, different correlations of other items that I can potentially sell. So I have an ability to go through and suggest, you know, maybe you bought the ceiling fan, maybe you want to buy some sconces or maybe a chandelier that go along with that. Again, that's all because we're an integrated platform. We have the ability to see information across all sales within this data set, where a CRM solution would not have some of those details. So let's go ahead and do something. Since I know the crowd is more of a financially oriented crowd, we'll go ahead and add in some different things like a 10% discount. And we'll go ahead and make this a taxable sales order. So we'll have some different things that will show up. When we impact the GL, you'll be able to see the sales tax that we're collecting on that. You'll also notice a few things over here, this create PO. So if I'm in an environment where I actually don't touch the product, but I need that product drop shipped directly to my customer, I can automatically create a PO on the fly. That PO will go directly out to the vendor, and the vendor will fulfill that order for me. And then that triggers me to go ahead and bill the customer. Also, if you're in a make-to-order environment, I could go ahead and automatically create a work order at this point. So this will trigger then my production for my manufacturing facility. Another thing up on top here, you'll notice that it's displaying profitability. It's an optional thing that you can have, you can turn on. But this gives me the flexibility to look at what my profit margins are. Now I can take a look if I'm in a wholesale distribution environment. Margins are incredibly important. And it gives you some flexibility on maybe I have some room to offer some more competitive pricing. So those are just some of the things, the benefits that you see within this particular order screen. Let's go ahead and save the order. So I'll have my order all set, and we'll go through and process that through our warehouse. So here's our sales order. This could have been printed. It could have been emailed directly out to the client. And I'm now in a position where this order is ready to be fulfilled. So let's go ahead and switch over to a warehouse role. You'll notice the dashboard is very different, a different perspective, looking from the warehouse perspective. Now up top here, we have this concept of reminders. Now we do full alert management, sending out emails based on literally any criteria within the system. But we also have this other concept of reminders. You can imagine getting 92 emails would turn into spam pretty quickly. So it's just a friendly reminder. It's a way that you can flag yourself on things that you're responsible for, but also allows you the ability to drill down into that. So from here, I'm going to click on orders that need to be fulfilled, and this will list all of the orders that are sitting in my queue ready to be fulfilled. Now I can filter this, this list. We also do the full pick, pack, and ship, printing pick lists and packing slips. I'm shortcutting the process for today. But here we're just going to indicate that we're going to ship this particular order. We'll fulfill this specific one, which is the order that we just created. From here, this is the fulfillment side. I can determine which carriers I'm going to be using. And by the way, we've got direct access to UPS, FedEx, and USPS rates. They're integrated within our system to go out and grab real-time rates. But here is the quantity that I currently have on hand for this item. This is what I'm actually fulfilling, what I'm shipping out the door. I can incorporate some shipping charges if I want, so I can incorporate that in. I'm indicating that the status is shipped, and we'll go ahead and hit save. So we've now fulfilled that item. You can see that that order 605 is no longer in my queue, and I can now go ahead and invoice that particular order. So let's change over to a finance role. And again, a different perspective on the dashboards. You can see I've got my customers by outstanding balance. So these are the ones I can focus my attention on. I've got an income by period trend. I'm looking at purchase price variances. So just different ways to present information graphically. I've got some financial ratios where I can actually click and see the details of those financial ratios. Shows you the formula. You can actually manipulate the formula and create your own ratios as well. But from here, again, the ability to click and drill down into those details so I can see, what is that number coming from. But we'll go ahead and also leverage the reminders up here. These are my invoices that are ready to be printed. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the sales orders that are ready to be invoiced. So here's that order, 605. We'll go ahead and click Invoice. And this will call up that sales order and show you all of the items that were on that sales order, Smith Supplies, the location where it's being sold from, the discount that we're providing, the item that we're selling, the tax that we're collecting on it, the discount rate that we're applying as well. And we can go ahead and then print this. We can email it directly out. There's even fax capabilities as well, fax it directly from here. We'll go ahead and save that. This is now creating my accounts receivables for this particular order. And you can see here it's connected to that particular sales order. If we had created an opportunity and a quote, there would be connections up on the screen as well. In this case, we just shortcutted it and went straight to the order. So you can see I've got my subtotal over here, $4.99 with a discount, my tax I'm collecting, the shipping charges I'm charging. And one of the beauties is our application updates the GL in real time. So I can see the GL impact of that particular transaction on the fly. I know exactly which accounts got impacted and what dollar amounts as well. So I've now created my outstanding receivable. Let's go ahead and take a look at, I'm going to use a shortcut to go ahead and go down to my AR aging summary report. And this is my AR aging summary report, and we could scroll down or we could just type in Smith and locate Smith Supplies. And so here's Smith Supplies. This is my current open balance, and you can see what their open balance is. Because we support multiple currencies per customer, that's why you're seeing that consolidated foreign currency balance. But you have an ability to click and drill down into the details of that. So I can drill all the way down and see all of the invoices that are under that $11,000. And the last thing would be to go ahead and accept payment on that particular invoice that we just created. Now, again, I'll go ahead and use a shortcut. We'll go down to accept payments. Call up my customer, so I have a check in hand. I want to go ahead and apply that check. This is going to show all of my outstanding invoices that are available for Smith Supplies, and there are several. But you have an ability to go through and select the invoice that you want to go ahead and pay. So we'll go ahead and pay that particular invoice. If there are credits available and deposits available, you could apply those as well. Up top here is the account that you're putting the cash into. And then the payment method is whether it be a credit card, which we have credit cards built into the product. There's no additional fee for that. to have an ability to accept cash, check, credit card, whatever form of payment, including electronic forms of payment, that can be incorporated in. We'll go ahead and put in our check and then hit save. This is going to apply that $527 invoice. You can see it's being applied. That check came in, we applied it to that particular invoice. So that's from the order. We just went through, created the sales order, did the fulfillment on that sales order, went through and printed out the invoice, and have now accepted the payment on that invoice. Everything is connected together, all of the history around that, so I can go through and see a history associated with that particular, all of the activities that have occurred on that particular payment, if there were any changes, any files that are associated with it. You can see all the messages going back and forth. And on the customer master, you'd have an ability to see all of the details from the sales order to the invoice to the payment. All of that history is located on the customer master as well. So that's pretty much the wrap-up to streamline your sales order to cash process. You can see how everything connects together. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and turn it back over to Vishrut and go through the rest of the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Larry, for that in-depth demo of how to optimize the order-to-cash process. Before we get to the Q&A, I mean, in conclusion, as we were talking about, how do you optimize processes within your organization so you can improve productivity? As we all know, that there are a lot of different things that are happening in the world, a lot of things that are happening that are impacting business, technology-wise and whatever not, and CFOs and finance team is asked to deal with that, including embracing new technology. And you know, the most urgent challenges for CFO team is streamlining processes and improving productivity. So how do you do that? So one of the ways that we are looking at today is that you can do that by embracing new technology, taking a holistic look at all the processes within your organization, see how you can optimize that, whether the solution that you have in place, whether it's is applicable today or not, and what can we do to move or migrate over to a new technology or new solution, maybe the integrated suite, and so on and so forth. Those are the things that we need to consider. Those are the things that the companies that are making changes or embracing new technology are looking at, and they are reaping benefit of that. And for that, we have about over 12,000 organizations using this solution to run their business. You know, like one thing that like Larry was talking about is that because we have an integrated suite, because we are looking at the whole business on the same platform, going back and forth from the things that impact GL versus invoicing to the opportunity, it becomes seamless. You can get the data from whichever way you're looking to analyze the data from, whether you're a finance person and you want to look at the opportunity data, whether you're a finance person and you want to know that which marketing campaign was most effective, which one gave you the most ROI. Now you're able to do that. Doesn't matter what is your role in the organization, whether you're a CEO, a CFO, sales manager, or even if you're a partner or a customer, you're all looking at the same information that enables you to make real-time decisions. So one of the things that having a business suite as opposed to point solution can close gap of the problem that you're trying to solve of improving productivity and streamlining processes by selecting the right platform, integrated platform. John, at this time, if you have any questions, we can address those.
Yep, we've got questions, and actually, I'll just take a moment to encourage folks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them via the question area in your GoToWebinar control panel. So, first question is, how does one buy NetSuite?
Oh, how does one buy NetSuite? I mean,
how do you get NetSuite for your company? Can you explain the economic model?
Yeah, the way this is a cloud-based solution. So basically, the way you purchase it is a pay-as-you-go. We have a pay-as-you-go model based on number of users that you would have, you would pay based on those users per month. And if you need to add more users, then you simply add them. If you, for whatever reason, you have to have fewer users in future, you can just make that adjustment as you go. So the pay-as-you-go model is per month, depending on which part of our suite, because we do have a suite, but you can also use our solution in a modular fashion. So you can use CRM or you can use ERP. Based on what you need, the pricing would be according to that.
So then are there some sort of base, quote-unquote, packages that people typically purchase, and then you can add on other features as you go?
Yeah, there are. The NetSuite product is sold typically as a suite. Like this suggested, is you actually can buy the CRM separate or the financial separate, but typically we sell it as a suite. The suite comes with everything. So it comes with your CRM, your inventory, your finance, your e-com, all of that comes with it. We do sell some modules, but they're more for advanced capabilities. For example, in the services industry, they'll need potentially advanced billings and revenue recognition. Those are separate modules that we sell. Mm-hmm. If you're requiring serialized components, we sell an advanced inventory module. But the core base module has the bulk of the NetSuite product.
Gotcha. And if you're getting those extra modules, are they purchased per module or per seat like the rest of the application?
They're purchased as a module.
Got it. Does the software have expense reporting tools built in?
It does.
And is there automated workflow and approvals and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, that's actually core to our architecture. We call it SuiteFlow. It is our workflow engine, and it actually allows you to incorporate your business processes into our application. So you can send out emails, you can create tasks, you can add additional buttons and drive behavior without customizing our application. It's just creating the workflow so that you can operate our software in the manner that fits your business.
Great. We've got the questions flowing in now. Next question. How would you characterize what's different in NetSuite that you wouldn't find or you would find differently somehow within QuickBooks or Peachtree or other platforms? What's different?
Well, one of the, Larry can also chime in, but one of the basic thing is that, like Larry mentioned, it's a business suite. It's not a point solution. So if you have a QuickBooks or a Peachtree, I mean, that is going to address your financials as opposed to just addressing your inventory management or manufacturing needs or CRM aspect of your business. Then you need to have something else, some other point solution, and hopefully you can make them work together, tie them together. But the key differentiator is a business suite. So you can run your entire business on our platform.
Gotcha. Larry, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that summarized it pretty well. And we are an ERP solution, right? So it is where QuickBooks is primarily a financial solution. So we do have e-commerce, customer service, your marketing, inventory management, your purchasing, all of that. It's core to our applications. It's built in.
And then related to that, we have a question on what do the economics look like versus on-premise ERP systems? And they did not specify which ERP system, so it could be anything from, well, I guess QuickBooks is just financials, but all the way up to an Oracle or an SAP. What do the economics look like around NetSuite in terms of total cost, et cetera?
Yeah, that's a bit of an open-ended question, but without knowing the number of users and what exactly that we're looking at. But one thing that we have found from the experience that we have had with the prospect that we worked with, I mean, obviously, like you don't have any upfront costs, if you will. I mean, you're not buying your hardware, you're not buying your licenses up front and hoping that the benefit is going to come in 1 year or 6 months when you are actually up and implementing your solution and up and running. With NetSuite is that the benefits, right? You are paying as you go model basically. So that's first and foremost. Your capital expenditure upfront cost is minimized basically. That's one thing. And we do have a TCO calculator that we have developed that we can take someone through based on their parameters, based on their on-premise solution that they have currently implemented, and compare that to NetSuite Cloud Suite, and we can present the data that way. So that would be the best way to do it. We can have a follow-up discussion with the person who's asking that question and walk them through the whole entire process.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier you mentioned that there were 1,000+ applications, suite apps, I think you called them, built on top of the platform. How does that work?
Well, essentially, we have partners that have identified areas that they specialize in, and what they're doing is they're developing solutions potentially using the NetSuite architecture, actually. So some have developed it externally and created interfaces. Some are developing it directly within NetSuite because our architecture provides that capability. And so they're specializing in certain areas, and then they go ahead and make that available to our end clients.
And then are those are purchased, like are you dealing with NetSuite at that point, or are you dealing with the solution, that particular application provider?
Yeah. You would be dealing with the solution provider, but because they have a relationship with NetSuite, there is information internally that we know that it works. We know that it works with that particular platform. Our professional services organization is probably pretty well informed about that solution as well.
So very much like the Apple iPhone apps kind of model.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty equivalent.
Okay. How long does it take for a typical NetSuite implementation? Let's say someone's coming off of a smaller mid-market package, a Peachtree, a QuickBooks Pro, et cetera. How long is a typical quote-unquote implementation for the regular NetSuite platform?
Well, again, that question can vary dramatically, right? It all depends on how much data are you moving, how much priority is it for that particular company to invest in going up. What we have seen, if you're looking at a smaller organization, we've seen implementations run 2 to 4 months. Larger organizations, depending on how complex they are, 3 to 6 months. So it's quite a it's quite a variety, but I think you'll find that our implementations go much quicker because we are web-based. You're not having to worry about the hardware. You're not having to worry about the database administration. So essentially what you're doing is it's primarily getting your data over into the system, setting up your business processes, and then educating.
Okay. Does NetSuite have, well, a couple questions here in one. Number one, are there multi-currency capabilities? And number two, are there multi-subsidiary or entity capabilities?
Yeah, there are. I didn't discuss that today, but absolutely it's native to the solution, multi-currency, multilingual as well. So we are an international company ourselves, and we support 17 different languages today. We also have an add-on module that provides the ability to support multiple companies within our database. So essentially, we call that One World. Over a third of our business right now is running on One World, so just to let you know.
Gotcha. So it allows for the multiple subs and for the consolidation of those subs, presumably?
Yeah, correct. The multiple subsidiaries, each subsidiary can have its own base currency. It provides dynamic global consolidation on the fly.
Okay, great. Budgeting and forecasting. Can you describe what and how much capability is built into the platform when it comes to budgeting and forecasting?
And we do have some budgeting capabilities built in. We also have what we call an advanced budgeting tool. It's actually very sophisticated. It is an add-on module. There is a budgeting tool built in that is a basic budgeting tool, but we do have an advanced solution. In fact, we use it internally ourselves. That is a pretty sophisticated budgeting and forecasting tool.
Okay. How do upgrades and patches happen to your system?
It's actually one of the beauties of our architecture, the fact that we're web-based. You're always running on the latest code. We actually only have one code base out there, so there's not multiple versions that are online at any given time. So it makes it easy for us because when there's something that needs to be fixed, we fix everybody. We also provide hot patches that so you're getting updated. We give you notification when updates will occur, but we go ahead and update you immediately. It doesn't impact any changes that you've made to your system because of the way our architecture behaves. Your upgrades are seamless. There's no downtime associated with them. We also provide 2 major upgrades a year, one typically in the spring and in the fall. So for example, this fall we'll have 12.2 that will come out. It'll be a major release, and essentially customers are scheduled as to when they will be upgraded. They'll be notified. They'll have an opportunity to see what's coming, read up on it, see videos on it, get training on it, actually have an area to play with what's coming so they can see how that will impact their business. And then what will happen is when their day comes, they'll come in on Monday morning and they'll be upgraded. Again, no impact to their existing changes that they've got and modifications. It just works.
Okay, next question. How does NetSuite integrate and communicate with other systems?
Well, we actually have an open platform. We are a web-based solution. We have open APIs. So the ability to communicate using web services, using SOAP, REST, ODBC, there's a variety of techniques, and I think we have some strong advantages in that area because of our architecture.
Okay, back to the foreign subsidiary question. Does the system allow for accounting adjustments such as accruals, et cetera, from foreign subsidiaries? In other words, is each subsidiary just like a regular instance of NetSuite where you have the full boat of capability and everything just gets rolled up together? How does that work?
Yeah, you actually can control each subsidiary. So you can set up, for example, an elimination subsidiary that you may be using to offset your revenue and expenses. You also have abilities set up subsidiaries that are transactional. They are actually separate legal entities that you're capturing taxation. They have their own unique base currency. We also provide intercompany transaction capability. So it's all of the above.
Great. Next question. Has NetSuite had any major outages since folks are now, of course, dependent on your service instead of theirs?
Yeah, actually, we contractually obligate ourselves to that. So we contractually obligate ourselves to a 99.5% uptime. It's written into the contract, and if we don't maintain that service level, then we owe you money back, basically. So I've been here 5 years. I've never experienced an outage that has dipped below our 99.5% uptime. So.
Gotcha. And how do you guys? How good is your security, or describe your security? How would one have faith in the security of their company's, and customers' information on your systems? Well,
I mean, our business is hosted in the cloud. Security is of utmost importance. I mean, the information that we store is obviously customer-sensitive data. It is our entire business. If we don't have that, we don't have a business. So our security measures are the tops in the industry. We do provide, if you need to see our security procedures and information, we do provide under an NDA that are SAS 70 documents. There's also a new document that I don't know the name of, but it's another layer, another level, like a SAS 70 audit. That
maybe SSAE 16?
That is correct, John. That's exactly right. We are audited by, we have completed the audit on that. Yep. And a lot of the times what we hear from when we talk to customers or prospects, or customers that have been using NetSuite for a long, long time, they say that the infrastructure that we provide and offer, they could never do the same thing if they had the servers inside their, in their offices. What we provide them is much at a grander level than what they can do themselves. That's what we hear all the time. And like John, Larry said, that if we don't take care of our data, we actually don't have a business. So that's we take care of it very seriously. Yeah.
Gotcha. How much customization of the platform is allowed?
You actually have a lot of flexibility on that. Built into our architecture, actually we provide an ability to add fields onto screens, change forms. You can create custom records. All of that you can do without any programming, actually. So it's really straightforward for an average admin to do that in just minutes. There is also an ability to customize the architecture as well. Our language for that is JavaScript. You can do client-side as well as server-side scripting. So it's a very flexible platform. You can actually get very creative.
Gotcha. Does NetSuite offer on-site demos?
We do, absolutely.
Okay. So we'll help connect you with the person who asked that question. Can you speak to your customer service and support model? How does that work? Is there a real human being on the line, or do you have multiple levels of support?
We do. We do have multiple levels of support, but we do provide 24/7 get a person on the phone support as well. So yeah, that's absolutely our model. We've got organizations scattered throughout the world that we're able to support our clients 24/7.
And when people are, well, actually, let's ask a question this way. Do most NetSuite implementations happen with help from a SI, a third party, or I guess maybe NetSuite yourself also has those capabilities, but do companies ever DIY this, or is it almost always through a third party with consulting help?
Well, that'll vary from account to account. I actually supported our channel community, so I work with our resellers. Obviously, they're in the business of selling and doing implementations. We also have a large SI organization that does implementations, especially on the larger end, Wipros, for example, Accenture. Internally, we have our own organization as well, so it's kind of an all-of-the-above solution.
Okay, are there any major updates or new functionality on sort of in the pipeline that anyone on the call should know about?
Well, again, we have 2 major releases a year. There's a ton of stuff that's coming in 12.2, and I'm not sure exactly when that'll be previewed, but
it's going to be previewed like in about a month and a half, John. And one other thing that we are also doing is a recurring billing in that area, because we do see a lot of demand for that, and our customers have asked, as they move their business model to subscription-based business, that we do have a robust recurring revenue management capability already, but now we are expanding some of that to the recurring billing as well. So that's one major thing that I can talk about. But we have a host of things that we are doing to 12.2, and it'll be make it public in about a month and a half or so.
Got it. Okay. Great. Well, just being mindful of the time here, we're just about at the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. And first, I'd like to thank Vishrut and Larry for your time and insight. That was a great demo and overview of the platform, and really appreciate your giving us time today.
Thank you, John.
our pleasure.
You bet. All right. Also, of course, thank you to NetSuite for helping us put this on. We have a lot of Performative members who are asking questions online about NetSuite. So this platform has been something that folks at Performative wanted to look at for a while. A quick note that we will be once again emailing out a link to this deck and also to a recording of today's webinar, so you can use that for future reference or pass it on, so you'll get that within 24 hours. And the presentation is actually already out on Performative. You can just go to www.performative.com/resources, and it will be right there for you. Of course, free at any time to grab. And one last note about the survey. When we close down this webinar in less than a minute, you will be presented with a survey. It does take just 1 minute to fill out. And in that survey, we make it very easy for you to request connection with today's speakers. So if you would like to follow up directly with the good folks we heard from today, Vishrut and or Larry, please indicate that on your survey, and we're happy to make that connection. And that's it. We really appreciate everyone's time and attention today. We hope you have a great rest of the week, and we hope to see you again at our next event or online at performative.com. Thanks so much, everyone.